Good morning. Good morning. Just kidding. Wow, you guys. I've been dropping dark hair. Been freaking dropping everything. Good morning, collective. Dad's woke me up. And when I say dad, I mean God. He woke me up, says, time to work. He said, honey, wake up. I need you to do something. I said, what time is it? I'm like a little baby. Oh.
6 o'clock.
Well, by the time we finish this reading, it'll be 6 o'clock. Here, let me turn this up so you guys can hear. Spirit, I'm gonna turn you up. Oh, I'm happy too. We just woke up. The first thing in the morning I want to say is I'm happy. Today's gonna be a magical day. Please show me the way that you would. How can I help you? How can I be of service today? How can I be the best version of myself I can be today? So God wanted me to wake up and do a message. And I thought he wanted me to do the dream I was having, but it's like I can only remember fragments of the dream. And you know, when you dream something that you can remember, but you just can't explain it. I had one of those dreams. So then I was like, well, what the hell? What do you want me to talk about? And just before bed, he had me find a Bible chapter because someone online, I told someone online on Instagram that I made, I'll just tell you. I had tagged, I tagged Chili from TLC in a post about, because we did a collective read from Left Eye, which was beautiful. You should watch it. She was such an awesome energy. And I shared it with her, and she so kindly messaged back Deuteronomy chapter 18, 12, 10, or 10, 9 or something, or 8, 9 or something. I don't remember exactly. And it's the classic, excerpt from the Bible that says something about, here, let me see. Maybe I can just find it real quick. Because it does say, you shouldn't do divination or whatever. But in the context of the story, because someone was lying when they used it. Okay, well, I can't find it right this second. So, in the context of that story, someone lied when they used divination, and they pretended to be a prophet. So then I was like, it made me sad because I've read the Bible probably least times in Chile, and a lot of people, and I found lots of things that talk about how prophets and oracles are meant to use divination, and high priestesses and priests, and how nobody ever talks about those things, and nobody ever brings up the people who are allowed to do divination, or who have taken an oath of service to God. And then those are the people who are allowed to do divination. So it made me sad, and I was like, God, tell me what I should say, because it's sad to, I'm gonna cry about it. It's sad to limit yourself. And I'm not saying everyone should use divination, but what it does is it blocked her from seeing a message that Left Eye wanted her to see, because they're best friends, So I said, God, tell me what I could say to them. And he had me open up. I literally just opened up to Ezekiel 13, and I saw against the prophets of peace. And I was like, no shit. So I started reading it, and I went down to 9, and it said, my hand is against the prophets who are false, who are false visions and make lying divinations, they shall not belong to the community of my people. They shall, but they don't say that they shall not belong to the community. He doesn't say you shouldn't use divination. He says those who are lying and make false visions, they shall not belong to the community of my people. They shall not be written in the register of the house of Israel, nor shall they enter the land of Israel. Thus you shall know that I am Lord. Prophets and oracles are the ones who wrote the Bible. The ones who had psychic gifts, who used divination to speak to God, to help be of service, to get the prophecies, are the ones who wrote the Bible. That the word was given to them so they could pass it down and be trusted. So I sent this to her. So I don't know. Yes, Spirit says. Because they led my they when people use divination who are not ordained or who have not taken an oath, that's a weapon of mass destruction, because people will follow blindly people who use faith as a means for control. It's written in every movie. And the movie, The Book of Eli, comes to mind. He memorized the Bible, and they were trying to steal the only Bible left in the whole world to control the world. But he's memorized it. He didn't need the Bible. It was inside of him because he was a direct conduit to God. He was a prophet, you see? And he was blind. He couldn't read. So it says, my hand is against the prophets who see false visions and who make lying divinations, because they led my people astray, saying peace when there is no peace, and when a wall is built, they cover it with whitewash. Say then to the whitewashers, I will bring down a flooding rain, hailstones shall fall, a storm wind shall break forth. When the wall has fallen, will you not be asked, where is the whitewash you spread on it? Therefore, thus says the Lord God, in my fury I will let loose storm winds because of my anger. Yeah, it makes them really angry when people use divination for their own selfish needs. And trickster entities will come and they will tell you that they're your grandma or your ancestor or the little boy who lives down the street, like in that movie Exorcist. Yeah, that will really happen because you're not ordained. And what that means is when you when you are when you are born with a psychic gift, you're automatically chosen because you are able to have discernment. But you can grow discernment by your level of effort toward your healing. The people who are born psychic, that are born to be an oracle, are only there. We're only here to teach you how to do it, to show you by example, and to get the word of the Lord for you so we can understand what the Lord wants from us, what God wants from us, what Spirit wants from us. And just like the reading we did yesterday, God only requires your obedience. That is your sacrifice, self-discipline, self-control, controlling your flesh. That's the only thing he requires, is sacrifice from you. And because it's very hard for people to clear. It's not hard, but it's hard to start. It's hard to initiate. The beginning part is hard, but then once you get it, it's easy to sustain. But you gotta come across temptation and stuff. So Spirit wants us to talk about that, which is so funny because I went to bed with that and I did have a dream, but I guess the dream's not important for now. I can remember it later, but I know it was a doozy. Spirit, what do you want us to know? Human condition. The human condition. Gambling, legal matters, politics, blackmail, bribery. Yeah, there's a lot of humans in the collective right now. It's become quite an epidemic of an outbreak of people claiming to be God or something, or to be a prophet, and then using that sorry, it's a little loud. And then using that as a way to get people to do what they want. And they end up being in a cult because they are not talking to God. Because God doesn't need you to feed him animal carcasses or babies or blood or humans. God made us. And he made animals. He made them. He doesn't need you to feed him food. That doesn't make any sense. If there's an entity that asks you to do that because you've been using divination, that is not God. God would never ask you to kill or hurt anybody or anything. I guess we have to remind people of that. So you're susceptible if you're gambling, you're susceptible to energy attachments while using divination when you don't have a clear field. When you have a low vibration, you will attract low vibratory things. Okay? When you have a clear field, you will attract divinity. If when you're divine, you will attract divine things. So, and you will have the gift of discernment, and you can learn the gift of discernment. We teach you that on Spirit News. So, I opened up my dream book because I couldn't remember my dream, and I do remember blackmail and gambling. So, from buying lottery or raffle tickets to risking your life savings at a casino, gambling is always accompanied by the excited anticipation of a big win and the potential danger of losing. If you habitually gamble, or if it's becoming a problem, dreaming of gambling and losing is most likely to be your subconscious warning you to seriously consider the consequences of your hobby. It's unwise to take a dream of winning as an omen or good fortune. It may simply be wishful thinking or a reminder that you've been lucky in life's lottery. Yeah, I can't remember my dream. I remember it, but I don't. I don't remember it enough to explain it. Legal matters. A dream of being involved in legal matters is often simply a reflection of matters that are of concern in your waking life. If questions of property, wills, vessel, Spirit says your vessel, that's another thing that can happen when you're playing with divination so much. If the entity is having you do illegal things, blackmail people, if they're having you take gambles that are unwise, that go against what you have planned, that's not God. Because I can tell you from experience, by trusting my own spirit guides, my spirit guides and God only tell me to do things out of love. And they don't tell me to do them. It's always a suggestion, and it never ever interferes or is dangerous or is a gamble or would lead to legal matters or have to do with politics or anything like that. They're how to heal. My spirit guides have gotten me to this place by teaching me how to heal. Oh, I'm gonna cry. They don't go out of their way to make me do anything or to scare me or to say that my children will be taken away. Nothing like that. If somebody's if you're playing with divination and something's making you feel scared or making you feel like you have no choice, that's not God, because God would never ever infringe on your free will. He would never have you hurt anybody or anything. And you can feel the love that's why you need to know discernment. So when you're using I just suggest you don't even use it, honestly. You go to people who teach you how to heal first, and then your prophets and your oracles and your high priestesses can teach you how how to heal first. And then you can be your own conduit to God. You don't have to use divination.
Storage.
Did it legal matters. In your dream, did it reveal any way to resolve the problems? A way to compromise, perhaps, or some third party you can approach for help? If you dream of making a will and haven't done so, you might be wise to consider it, not because of any anticipated death or disaster, but just to set your mind at ease for the future. Politics. We elect politicians to positions of power and expect them to do what is best for us in the country. Sometimes this happens. Often it doesn't, but politicians are nevertheless the unviable position of being unable to please most of the people most of the time. If you mentally switch off whenever the subject of politics is broached in your waking life, but politics makes a prominent appearance in your dreams, your subconscious may well be telling you to take some interest or become involved. That actually happens to me a lot. I have dreams of being. Anyway, I do not want to be in politics. Not at the state it's in now, but is this saying that there could be somebody in the collective that was using divination that was talked into going into politics by divination? It's not something they actually wanted to do, but whatever was coming through in the divination was telling them to sign up for politics. Madison? Blackmail, bribery. Oh, wait. I already read that. Blackmail, bribery. I'm sorry. It's early. A dream of being blackmailed may denote a guilty conscience or a worry about a situation. Most people have experience of bribery,
Try to find me.
even if only as a child, by the promise of a sweet if they behave themselves. Have you done anything that could make you a blackmail victim? If so, your subconscious might be warning you that someone else is aware of the fact and could make problems for you. If you're blackmailing someone else, why? For the sense of power it gives you? For revenge? Because you're in financial difficulties? To dream of being bribed or bribing someone else suggests that your current work is less than inspiring and you could do with something to sweeten it. So there seems to be somebody abusing divination, and they could have possibly taken a gamble that led to legal matters because of some kind of blackmail or maybe a politician or something they got into with politics or the government or something, or it could be even the military where they have been put in a position of being blackmailed, or they're the ones who bribe someone. But it is through divination that they got here because they listened to the wrong. They weren't ready. They weren't ready and energetically responsible enough to use divination. All right, Spirit. What do you want us to know? What do you want us to know?
Visit.
And also, when you're talking to God, you don't need a Ouija board. You don't need a Ouija board. You're not allowed to use divination to spy on people against their will. That's a no-no. That'll automatically bring false idols to you because you're susceptible to a suggestion. And if you're gonna use a Ouija board, you should use it with a high priestess, someone who's ordained because then you could get a negative energy attachment, and you don't know how to use it. You don't know how to close the portals. You don't know how to protect yourself. You leave the portals open and you let things come through at cemeteries under the full moon. It's like, if you might as well, set the pins up and knock them down for any entities that want to come through. And then you're not at a place of healing, so you think you're powerful. They get drunk off of power because the entities will give them what they want at first, to an extent. But their power comes from something else. It's not power, it takes from you. Every time you do it, it takes from you, it takes your energy. Inmate Patrick Stephen Madison. You make yourself susceptible for getting your vessel stolen when you play with divination. That's why God says don't play with it unless you're ordained, unless you're a prophet or an oracle or high priest or high priestess. Then you're responsible enough to not use it for bad. Thank you, Spirit, for being here with us. How can we help? How can we get a higher perspective? Spirit says you got to be careful of the seeds you plant. Something happened in summertime where somebody, this looks like a circle of people, they could have potentially gone to the woods and planted a scarlet seed. They planted a scarlet seed. They had a good intentions because they're in the green. They're in the green, so they were just probably doing it to the divination. This looks like a planchette. So a Ouija board. They could have potentially just wanted it to be for fun, out in the woods. Scary. Let's play with the Ouija board in the woods. No, don't do it. So a group of people, friends, probably around a campfire, listening to music, having fun, decided to play with the Ouija board one night, and they spawned a red seed. Okay, maybe the Ouija board told them to do something with their blood or something, because that alone would have. Blood is active. It's got little crystals in it. It's life force. It's what pumps your veins. If you're all sharing blood in this environment, it will bring a will of action, because this is the solar plexus, the color of the solar plexus. So what they were doing for fun ended up creating a spawn of evil. They planted a seed of evil by sharing blood in some kind of blood ritual or something that they didn't know they were taking part of, because they didn't know energy. They didn't know anything about it. That's how this entity got here, that we've been defeating systematically. But this entity knew the whole time what its plan was. It knew exactly what it wanted. So this entity took an opportunity to hex these people against their knowing, but by their own will. So that's how they do it. They trick you. They say, oh, if you do this, I'll give you 3 wishes. I'll give you 3 wishes. There might have been 5 people that were in this circle, and they brought something forward that they didn't know, and the entity tricked them because the entity wanted to target a divine being, to capture it, to stop it. And entities like this is their MO, it's their mission. It's really like, I don't want to say life is a game, because it's not a game. it is meant to be fun, but it's meant to be taken seriously. But it's like there's good and evil. And when you are playing with Ouija boards and you're not at a high vibration, you will attract low acting entities that it's their job. It's like I don't want to say it's a game, but it is like a game of chess in a way where these entities are looking for a way to get a vessel so they can not have God's chosen come forward or anyone ascend. So it's like a chess game that God and the devil are playing, okay? And it's not religious, it's energetic, okay? It's not religious. And anybody can clear their field. It's not like certain people can do it. Being chosen, I say all the time, if you watch me, it's not that certain people are chosen and that's it. It's just that you need a teacher. So some people are born psychics like myself and other people, and we're meant to help you guys understand how to clear your field, because you have to have someone do it before you as an example to show you how to do it. If you play this, that's what entities look for, people who are low energy that need healing because they're easily tricked. They're easily tricked. They don't have the gift of discernment yet. They haven't cleared their field. So this entity targeted this group of people because they're probably drinking, having fun. Let's play at the Ouija board at night in the woods. And well, they probably got something because not only were they in the woods, that amplifies your energy, but they were a group, at least 5. But this entity also targeted them because probably someone in their group is a divine being. So they were targeted by this entity. Okay? That's how it works. The entities don't want you to ascend because they want everything to stay the same. Earth is their domain. They want people to be in low acting behaviors because they feed off of that. They need you to be acting in low ways so they can target you and use you as a vessel. And so they can take down divine beings so the world doesn't change. So there's one person in this group that was the lowest, that had the lowest energy at the time, that had the lowest frequency, had the lowest energy field. Okay, someone who was already needing a lot of healing. Okay, and see there's a circle here. Okay, so this was the initiator of this seance or Ouija board. They're a Black Widow. They are perfect. Five people. This is the leader. So 6 people altogether, maybe? Or no, I think 5 people. 1 is a Black Widow. This person was chosen by this entity because they had the lowest vibration, making them the easiest to control. When you have a low vibration, you're easy to control. Spirit said Adam. I don't know if Adam and Eve has anything to do with it. Maybe the devil came to this person and tricked them. And tricked them. Said, I'm gold. This entity is a trickster entity. Spirit already said trickster. Their goal was to hex these people, put a curse on them so they can do their bidding, to target a divine being, because there must be a divine being in their circle. So that was the mission for this entity, this trickster god. Or I don't even want to call him a god, just a trickster entity. It was easy to get this person. This person was already dibble dabbling in things they shouldn't be dibble dabbling in the hippity hops probably. So they had already spun webs of deceit and betrayal, which made them the planter of the blood seed, the act, the one who was the leader of the pack. this entity said, I'm God. I'm God. I just need you to cut your hand and place your blood on a plate and lick it up. I'm God. No, God would never. God, like God said yesterday, I made you. I made animals. I don't need to eat. I don't need you to feed me. I would never, he would never ask you for that. So this happened in a summer, um, maybe 5 years ago or 6 years ago, or not. Take it as it resonates. I'm just getting the data. It could have happened, Spirit said fall, so it could have happened last fall, where this circle of friends started doing this, and because they got an answer and something was talking back to them, they were doing it, but they started doing it on their own by themselves because they got addicted to talking to whatever was the trickster entity coming through. So the trickster entity would have them individually do their own rituals for this person, for this
Joshua,
for this divine being. Joshua could be one of them. They were this being was systematically infiltrating every person that was in this group. There was 5 people. So not only is
9 spirits,
actually there might have been 5 people and then a 6th leader. There might have been 6 people because this is the leader that planted the blood seed. That because they thought that because the entity told them that they were God. And so that's why they didn't question it. They were so excited to be talking to someone. They thought that they were chosen because of that, because they had no discernment to read energy, to know if it was good or bad. So after they did the blood thing that first night in summer, and they were talking to a trickster entity named God, they started getting calls to do it by themselves on their own. All the people, all 6 of them. The yellowing. This was a plan of the entity to systematically get each person to do a ritual against this divine being. Yeah, all you want your wishes to come true? No problem. I'm so glad you contacted me. I love you so much. Let me tell you what to do. You just have to do this spell. You just have to do this ritual where I need you to get an animal. I need you to kill it. I need you to drink the blood of it and then cut its head off. And then, like whatever. Spirit, please remove any evil eye being sent to me. Thank you. And then I'll make one of your wishes come true. Okay? So they go get an animal, they do the hoopty hoop and the hoppy hops, and then they do some kind of ritual against this divine being that, like blocking their emotions or making them upset or making them addicted or making them whatever to bring the divine being's frequency down so they don't become divine. Okay? All of these people think they're chosen because they think God's talking to them. Just do this under the moon. Do this ritual. It has to be done under the full moon. You do it every full moon, I'll make a wish come true. Every full moon you got, I'll make a wish come true. It don't work like that, you guys. It doesn't work like that. That's not it. They got tricked. So they had this black widow learn really ancient rituals that are ancient black magic that are powered by the moon. no amount of magic will ever be okay. If you do magic, if you hurt things, if you take other lives, it will never be okay. You'll never get your wishes. These people were tricked. They were tricked. They were taught how to do rituals by an entity, a trickster entity. Dissolution. They thought it was God. They thought that they thought it was God. They didn't do any research. By the time they just didn't have, the entity had already indoctrinated them, had given them a belief system, had made them feel special, warm and fuzzy about them being chosen. They led them to their demise, straight into the bowl. They told them to do animal sacrifices, and they told them to hurt people, to blackmail people. They created legal issues for themselves because of this one night in that they had to be cool in the forest with a Ouija board. Excuse me. So once this entity went to each person was doing a ritual. These are all the rituals. So that's a lot. Each one was doing them on a full moon. And sometimes they do it together, sometimes they wouldn't, sometimes they do it by themselves. And so that's a lot of energy being directed at one divine being. There's just one that they're targeting. They're targeting one. It looks like a golden triangle, the guild of the golden triangle. They're targeting one.
Swing.
And they're targeting them because this entity doesn't want them to succeed. That means they must have an important destiny if an entity is working so hard to stop this divine being from ascending. And he's using these people like pawns by saying that they're God. So these people think that they have some special, they're special, everyone's special. But God doesn't ask you to do these things, but they don't know that. And by the time after they've already done so much magic under the guise that they're going to get a wish granted or 3 wishes, that they're holding it close. They don't want to let this egg go, but they're not in the right mind anymore because this entity has clouded their mind. And that's what happens when you're not of the correct frequency to discern what is good for you and what's not, and to protect yourself, to close the portal, to approve. You have to be approved by God to do divination. That's just what this comes down to. So these people aren't in the right mind. These people aren't. You want me to change? Okay. These people aren't in the right mind. They've been tricked by a trickster entity that has their sights on a divine being, and there's a black widow in this situation that's been targeted by the entity because they were the weakest one. They were the weakest one. Oh, well, Spirit doesn't want me to say they were weak, but they were the most susceptible one to a trickster entity. I'll say that because it's not that they were weak, because they're actually very strong and powerful, but it went the other way. It's inverted. Chewy, gummy, rubbery, stringy. Yeah, they strung these people along. Look at this, just like strings. The entity strung these people along, claiming to be God, but really of the darkness, not letting them see the other side of what they were actually part of. They were disillusioned. They were disillusioned. They didn't know because they didn't have discernment. They all were in a place of needing healing. And that's why that entity was so happy, because if they weren't, they would have been useless. If they weren't of an equal frequency to this entity, they would have been completely useless, because that's how energy works. When you vibrate higher, you literally cannot be affected by low acting entities. You just can't, because it's not a matching frequency. What else? Thank you so much for allowing me to give the messages. Yeah. If you clear your field and you ask for help from your spirit guides on a daily basis, you build a relationship with them, the universe will help you. And the universe will speak to you in subtle ways. You don't need the Ouija board or anything or tarot to talk to them. They talk to you through animals. They talk to you through numbers. They talk to you through the songs you like to listen to. They talk to you through the movies you watch. But you have to learn how to listen in a different way. Princess Diana. Beloved English princess who died in an auto crash. Goodbye, England's Rose. Everything, the big it, huge, massive, that big. By targeting this divine being, they're like equivalent to Princess Di. They're that big. By targeting, I guess this divine being is meant to do something that's their destiny to help the world change and for the betterment is very big. So whatever that is, I'm not sure. But it's Princess Di big. It's the universe big. It's the universe and Princess Di. That's who they're targeting, and that's why you don't know what people are destined for. If you're playing with divination and they're asking you to hurt somebody that might be a stranger to you, but you don't know what they're destined for. They could be destined to be the best president in the world or something, I don't know. They could be needed. God could have put them there on purpose to change the world. You don't know. But this particular divine being is that important. And these people came after it because they got tricked by an entity saying they're God. Salsa dancing. Popular from a Latin American dance, a little jazz, a little blues, a touch of rock, and lots of heat. In reverse. So there's a lot of heat, but not in a good way, not for dancing. There's a lot of heat because God's mad. It says, you never against my chosen. You never go against my chosen, because those are the ones that are going to help change the world. They're meant to be of service. When you target a chosen one, they're divinely protected, and there's nothing you can do to them. And this entity knew that. Hey, Miss Ruby Jewel, good morning. God called me and said, wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. They stereotype this person as being some fancy-footed Disney character or something. And they forgot about the principle of life and how we're not supposed to hurt each other, and they became firefighters because they keep taking heat, because God's bringing the heat on the universe, bringing the heat on these fools
Matthew,
because they came against one of God's chosen. Spirit said, "You never come against a chosen." That's in the Bible. I don't know it verbatim, but I've read it. Never against my chosen. No weapons against the chosen shall prosper. So this entity knew that and was testing them. This was a test for these people. And they failed. A bad haircut.
look by the entrance.
A bad haircut. Nero, on the other hand, fiddled while Rome burned. Yeah. They went against their own conscience. They went against their own morals, and they broke ethics, and they were unscrupulous. They had no principles because they were tricked. And that just shows the level of healing that they need to do, that they would let themselves be tricked by something so great to hurt somebody just for their own gain. Because it had to do with do this, I'll give you 3 wishes kind of thing. Organic, natural, clean, biological. What's happening to these people, there's no like person. You're playing with energy, okay? There's not a form it takes. It doesn't have form. It jumps from person to person, and it happens very organically. It unfolds organically, you know? It's not something that's very obvious that happens. It happens slowly. And so these people, that's how it can be really deceiving. Like, your wishes come true very slowly and organically. And so it happens to trick these people. They're like, oh, it must be God because I'm getting what I want. But that's just energy. You could get what you want by manifesting, and it would come the same way, but you don't have to hurt people. It comes organically by like a person, you want to be a radio show host. Okay, you imagine that, you match it with the feeling of feeling good emotionally, then you start to get you hear a thing on the radio about how someone got into radio, and you're like, oh, okay. And then one day after that, you see a book at the YMCA in the public bookshelf that says how to become a radio show host. Oh, okay, let me read that. And then you read that, and then you get a notification in your email about how it's half off to take radio broadcasting courses. Oh, okay, I'm going to sign up for that. It's half off. And then you take the course, and then the course has a referral thing. You know what I'm saying? It happens organically. So these people were tricked into their manipulations because it happened very organically over time. It wasn't like, I wish for money, boom. And so that really led to them being tricked. But that's how manifestation works here. It has to happen in thought first, and then it comes down into physical.
Modulate.
Sharp. They weren't too sharp. They weren't too sharp. That's what I don't want to say they weren't sharp. I want to say they were ignorant. They were ignorant students of energy. Mold. They had their morals were moldy. They're old, stale, and moldy. Their morals, their principles. They didn't have a very strong backbone to say no or to not want to hurt somebody. You should never, anything you gain, thank you, Ruby, anything you gain should not be by someone else, stepping on someone else. It just shouldn't. If you're playing with divination and an entity asks you to hurt somebody to make a wish come true, even if it's over time, that's still a no. It's still a no. Even through sex, sensual, even through sex, it's still a no. You can't use sex against people for magic, or if an entity asks you to have sex with people, they show you a special way to have sex. No, it's a no. Sexy, sensual and sexy. It's a no. This is going to have catastrophic effects on these people. It's going to ruin their lives. Yeah, it's going to be like earwax. It's going to clog everything up in them. All of their wishes. It's going to clog up their destinies. It's going to clog up all their chakras, their money, their jobs, everything. Elitist, snobbish, arrogant, smug. These people became elitists. 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 They became elitists because they thought that they had superiority over people because of they were taught magic by this trickster entity. So they thought they had power, and they became power hungry, snobbish, arrogant, smug. It was like, yeah, whatever, I can do what I want. They lost their grace. They fell from grace because they got tricked by using divination. You should not be playing with divination, especially when you don't understand energy. It's like going out in the Australian outback without any supplies. You die for sure. You die for sure. Bullwinkle. As in the cartoon of Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle, the moose half of moose, the moose half of moose and squirrel. So I don't know what that means so much. They went on an adventure. They went on a earwax adventure in the Australian outback. They went on an adventure in the Australian outback looking for earwax. It was fruitless. This was a fruitless endeavor, and this entity they knew that the entity knows energy. Okay, you 100% bet that the entity knows energy way better than these people, way better than most people. And so that's why it's very important to not play with it, because they trick you. They use your weaknesses against you. They use your principles against you. They use sex against you. And they make you weak. They'll tempt you with those weaknesses you have to make you weak. So you do what they want. Email, junk mail. Yeah, this entity, thank you, Spirit. I forgot what I was going to say, and then they reminded me. This entity knows energy, so it knew that this divine being, it knew that this divine being, if it reached a certain level of enlightenment, it would be impossible to touch the divine being, to do anything to it, magic or anything. And so these people didn't know that. So, but what the entity did was it got 6 people, and there's three people, 3 legs. They got 6 people. So it's a win-win for the entity, because it just harvested 6 people for its gain and made 6 vessels for its own gain. So it knew, but these people didn't know. Puff Daddy? Is Puff Daddy one of these people? American rap artist, I'll be missing you. Shot him to stardom, no pun intended.
2 o'clock.
There might be 2 people who might pass away because of this. It says, I'll be missing you. Shot him to stardom. No pun intended. There could be 2 people that die because of this. Because they had to play with a Ouija board and be cool. And be elitist. Be arrogant. They had to take this adventure that was like going out into the Australian outback without any supplies to be cool. Now they might lose their life. Dysfunctional. These people, if they don't lose their life, they're going to be dysfunctional. Not that they weren't already. And this entity is laughing to the bank. Oh, I feel bad for them. Honestly, I don't know. How can we help them? What can we do? One of them might need an exorcism. The leader might need an exorcism because when I woke up, Spirit said, help them and exorcism or exercise, but with a X, EXOR. How can we help? Tell us what you want us to know. Thank you so much, Spirit, for allowing me to give the messages. I'm so grateful to be of service. How can we get a higher perspective of this linear view? Everyone talks to you like you're a 2-year-old. These people are going to have to remember what it was like before this happened. They're going to have to remember a time, maybe even go back to your childhood so you can heal some inner childhood wounds. You're going to undocumented death. Damn. There may have been an undocumented death. These people are going to have to go through, they may have done illegal things. They may have been put into situations where they could be blackmailed. Change your name to Captain Assface. Oracle. You're going to have to get help from an oracle. Do you know one? You're going to have to go to this divine being. Whoever this divine being is that they came up against because they didn't know, they're ignorant students of magic. They're going to have to go to them for help. Take the SAT over and over until you get a perfect score. This entity has these people doing something over and over again, convincing them that don't worry, it's going to work. It's going to work this time. It's not going to work anytime. And the entity knows that. But that's what they do. They lie. It's a trickster. Spirit said it's a trickster entity. So it's literally laughing while they get tricked to do this. The Dalai Lama gives you life advice while you give him an erotic sponge bath. Yeah. The Dalai Lama would never ask for a sponge bath, or any divine being. They don't need an erotic sponge bath. They don't desire those things. They don't desire things of the flesh. If an entity is having you do weird sexual things, they're doing it so you can get blackmailed. That's the only reason that they're doing it. So they have leverage over you, so you have to stay in the group. Otherwise, they might show your whatever you did to people. Be Amish and on the FBI's most wanted list. Yeah, those are 2 different things. Thank you, Spirit. You can't be Amish and be FBI's most wanted. It's 2 different things. You can't be Dalai Lama and get an exotic sponge bath. That's not how it works. You have to control your flesh. Silly. Spirit said that's silly. You know, you can't want more and be less. That's not a matching vibration. You can't want 3 wishes but be killing people. That's not how it works. Nothing is more fun. Nothing is fun anymore. Oh, I said nothing is more fun. I don't know what that means. But nothing's fun anymore because you guys have done so much magic. Omar, you guys have done so much magic that every time you do a ritual or you kill an animal or you do something under the moon, where do you think the energy comes from? It comes from you. It literally takes a piece of your vital force every time you do it. Imagine if you did it even twice. That's taking a piece of your energy and putting it out wherever, sharing it in these sex cult or whatever. You get, the energy has to come from somewhere. It doesn't just come out of nowhere. That's why you are all tired.
Right.
That's why you all feel bad. That's why you all are going through, why nothing's fun anymore, why you're depressed. Your soul, you guys systematically sold your soul piece by piece, and then took from other people just to get energy from them. Dynamics. It's it's fundamental for you to know energy. And that's why we teach you on Spirit News about energy, okay? Because things like this, magic should be illegal. We should take Ouija boards off the market. You should only buy tarot cards if, oh, a ladybug. Hi, ladybug. Oh, hi, ladybug. Oh, I won't scare you. Always make the wrong decision. These people, because they have no more of their soul left, they literally just can't make a right decision. They're completely dysfunctional. Nothing's fun anymore. They think they're going to get their wishes and they're not. This entity keeps telling them to take the SATs over and over until you get a perfect score. Adele and T Swift each write entire albums about how much they hate you. If you're going around talking about how you hate this person and that person, that's not going to help you get out of this. It's going to keep you in this. You have to do things to raise your vibration. That means you need to find joy. You need to do things that make you feel joy. You need to dance. You need to sing. You need to go outside in nature. You need to be grateful. Gratitude is the fastest way to feel God. Instead of talking about how much you hate people, why don't you talk about how much you love God or something, or talk about how much you love something. There's something you love. If you have so much hate in you, there has to be something you love. Find out that all your friends and family are paid actors. These people aren't even friends. They don't even like each other. But they did this magical shit together and they had sex with each other and they blackmailed each other and now they don't even talk to each other because they were all paid to do it. Something about being paid. Thanks for being here, Miss Ruby. I appreciate you. Professionally scam old people out of retirement funds. God would never do this. You need to get your head out of your ass. It's time to change your change your name to Captain Assface because all of you are being assholes. And that's over elitist. Thank you. I enjoy it too. I had to wake up early for this one. It must have been important. You're a slave to the person on the judge's right. These people are slaves to this entity. They just keep doing, well, our advice is to stop doing that. Stop doing the one thing you keep doing over and over again. Grow horns like a markhor, wild Middle Eastern goat. These people are turning into little human demons every day. How can we heal it? You know what? Let's transmute it with some energy. Let's make some memes. Okay? Let's meme it. Let's meme it. All right? We got to transmute it. The way laughter is a great way to transmute. Okay? Spirit, give us some memes, please. Okay, this one says it's not my fault. It's not my fault. It ain't my fault. Did I do that? It ain't my fault. Did I do that? Well, whose fault is it? Because a skunk can't help but be a skunk.
Matthew.
When a skunk farts, it's definitely the skunk's fault. This one says control freak. Control freaks, plural. These are some control freaks. Perfect. This is this people. They got to control everything. That's a sign that you need healing. If you feel like you have to control everything to this level, that's a sign that you need to heal. All right, let's keep going. Land of the free, home of the brave. Politics, right? We're talking about politics. Oh, okay. This is our politicians. This is your politicians now. Land of the free, home of the brave, help me. I've done too many blood rituals and I don't know how to get out of it. Nothing's fun anymore. All those sex orgies where we did those horrible things to people, it's not fun anymore. Meh. Yeah. The fact that it was fun in the first place should have been a sign that you need to heal.
Insert.
Yeah, insert foot. Treat yourself. Treat yourself. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Treat yourself to becoming a lizard person. Congratulations. I hope that you're happy. Oh. How do you feel? Right over nothing's fun anymore. Yeah, because you're some weird lizard person now that has an atrophied heart center. You can't make any of your relationships work. All of your relationships are failing. All of your wishes aren't coming true because you tried to control fate and destiny. Too cool for school. Too cool for school. Oh, God. Yeah. Real cool. Look how cool you are. Look how cool. Oh, elitist. Oh, give me my bourbon and my cigar, Harriet. Yeah, that's what control gets you. When you try to control people, when you try to control the masses, like, what's the matter with you? What do you think was going to happen? Okay, I'll do one more and then I'm going to go get me a coffee. This is what perfect looks like. Oh, geez. Here we go. This is what perfect looks like. Aww. I love that. Nature's perfect. The way things are meant to be is perfect. The way you were born is perfect. Nature's perfect. Ah, I love you, God. I love you, Spirit. Thank you so much for giving us the messages and teaching us. I love you so much. I hope this helps. I'll see you next one.